Well, it looks like Star Wars might finally be wrapping up. Or not. Well, we'll see. Sometimes it's hard to really love Star Wars. I mean, not for the reasons you might think. I don't think that just because something isn't great at the time makes the great stuff harder to love. Sure, EA may make money grab after money grab to try and replicate fun from a decade ago, but that old fun is still there. Not every direction Disney takes is my favorite, but both the old stuff remains, while some of the new stuff is really great. No, what makes loving Star Wars hard for me is not Lucasfilm or Disney or any one piece of media. It's the fans. And now, don't get me wrong, some Star Wars fans are great. So many fan groups have done amazing charity, both while cosplaying and while not. And a lot of fans are just fun. There's something charming about silly choreographed lightsaber fights. And I think we can almost all appreciate seeing children be happy. Memes and jokes about the movies are fantastic, and even discussion and debate amongst fans can be fine, depending on the tone. But there are some fans that try to ruin things for the rest of us. With this video, I'd like to highlight 10 types of Star Wars fans that, for some reason or another, can't quite seem to enjoy Star Wars without making someone else dislike it. Starting off in a non-ranked order, there's the Gatekeeper. Gatekeepers are common in any fandom, and in pretty much any group that you're not born into. And even then, well, I'm getting off topic. Gatekeepers want to make sure that everybody that calls themselves a Star Wars fan is a, quote, true Star Wars fan, unquote. Whether it's rejecting people who like the prequels, denying people that only started liking Star Wars with The Force Awakens, or even demanding that all individuals must read the Thrawn trilogy before they're allowed to share their opinion, Gatekeepers like to keep their inner circle as refined as possible. Gatekeeping also isn't an inherently sexist thing by any means, but you'll find a lot more accusations of fake fandom cast upon women. The problem with gatekeeping, aside from being just really rude to outsiders, is that it works. Creation, discussion, charity, and comedy all flourish when new individuals enter the playing field. By rejecting fans outright, the amount of fan content, analysis, good deeds, and jokes the fandom can put out dwindles. To limit who can be a fan is to limit what a fan can do, and things will always be more fun with new people. I've had enjoyable conversations about Star Wars with people that only started watching after the Disney buyout, and I look forward to new ideas from different perspectives. And if you don't want to hear them, that's fine, but you certainly don't speak for everybody, and you even more certainly can't determine the validity of someone's love for Star Wars. Gatekeepers operate on determining quantity of consumption, but these next guys operate on quality, the inner party members. Inner party members will determine how you should react to a piece of media, and then they'll determine your fanness accordingly. Interestingly, this type of behavior is not restricted to positive or negative views of Star Wars. Let's take the last movie, for example. Did you love The Last Jedi? Well, you must not have liked the original Star Wars. Did you hate The Last Jedi? Well, you must not like anything new. Are you excited for Episode 9? How dare you, it's going to be awful. Are you tired of Star Wars? How dare you, it's going to be fun forever. This isn't simply disagreeing with someone with a differing opinion, mind you. I've made it quite clear on this channel that I heartily disagree with almost everything reylos say, and they have made it quite clear in no unexplicit terms that they disagree with me. But I don't think that they're fake Star Wars fans. I know that they love Star Wars, and even though I think that they love the wrong things, I would never say that they are fake fans. Do I think they're wrong? Yes, obviously. Will I say they don't love Star Wars? No. Of course, if I bring up The Last Jedi, I suppose I have to bring up something else. The Toxics. Don't like The Last Jedi? Great. More power to you, it's got a lot of problems. But man, if you don't make me want to defend it. If your argument for why a movie is bad involves detailing whether or not you find the actresses attractive, how much feminism has ruined your day, or racial slurs of any kind, you've left the lead on Alderaan. You know I critique The Last Jedi, but if your critiques involve terms like beta male or soy boy or SJW, you've revealed a lot more about yourself than you have about the filmmakers. Suppose you think The Last Jedi is irredeemably bad. Can't it just be bad? Blaming it on minorities makes as much sense as blaming the holiday special on white people. Sometimes things just aren't that great. And that does bring me to another almost opposite problem, the Vanguards. Vanguards love The Last Jedi, and as long as you're not racist about it, again, more power to you. But because the Toxics were so virulent in their harassment of both fans and actors, The Last Jedi has become some sort of beacon for supposed progressive values. And this has kind of happened before. Take, for example, the Ghostbusters reboot. Controversial opinion, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty funny and had some great send-ups to the originals. It had a big editing problem, but nothing enough to make it unwatchable, at least for me. But there was a determined bunch of misogynists eager to tear the movie apart well before it opened, and thus defense mode was activated, and perhaps overzealously. Without a doubt, there were toxics for this movie too, and there was definitely harassment. But suddenly, any critique against the movie was seen as sexist, and this paranoia is understandable for sure. If 9 arguments amount to calling a woman a slur, you might not believe that the 10th argument is actually a genuine concern with pacing or setting up Chekhov's gun. But here's the problem in setting movies as beacons of progressivism. They're not. Ghostbusters was a dumb comedy. I like it, and certainly little girls enjoying Ghostbusters is a positive thing, but it didn't exactly critique the patriarchal society. Likewise, The Last Jedi was pretty standard sci-fi. If anything, I think it goes in the opposite direction of anti-racism, relying on tired and true racial stereotypes to make the white fascist character seem cool in comparison. Sure, there are some very baseline anti-war statements in there, but it's certainly not the MASH of Star Wars. That would be MedStar. A subtype of the Vanguards are the Batesians, individuals that mimic language of social justice communities to prop up their cult takes. You think Kylo's hot? Weird, but whatever. Some people make fun of you? Well, they can't do that, so what do? Well, you can say that they're bigoted. I've seen that Kyle is supposedly coded as autistic, or queer, or Jewish, even though neither he nor his actor are any of those 3 things. They'll use terms like anti to describe people that don't ship Reylo, like they are facing discrimination. They'll claim that Finrays are all white people attacking women of color, even though the majority of Reylos are white women. Actual activists try hard to be taken seriously, and Batesians appropriate their terminology and arguments to appear legitimate. Make your poems about a fictional fascist without relying on the work of advocates to make yourself seem aware. Another group, though, uninterested in appearing politically correct, that I do think warrant disapproval, are the Star Hunters. These fans seem to struggle differentiating between Star Wars and reality. If they didn't like Jar Jar, they take it out on Ahmed Best. If they didn't like young Anakin, they take it out on Jake Lloyd. Hayden Christensen, Kelly Marie Tran, Daisy Ridley, Alden Ehrenreich. These fans see any frame in a movie that they don't like as a slight against them personally, and they try to ruin the life of the person that they incorrectly deem responsible. Whether it's spreading anti-Semitic tropes with lies about how they got their jobs, telling them to commit suicide, or spamming them with racial slurs, these guys think that one individual can be blamed for ruining something they liked. Star Hunters aren't necessarily racist. While they will often primarily target people of color, they still sent death threats to a young white child. Instead, they'll use any tool that they have to try and ruin their perceived enemy's life. It's nothing short of a 2-minute hate, only instead of a manufactured dictator, it's an actor who had to deliver some bad lines. Sure, actors in Star Wars are generally held to 3 different sets of behaviors, and while they're often treated like the enemy, sometimes they're just treated respectfully like really well-liked celebrities. But there's a third thing, creepier, more possessive thing. Face stalkers love these celebrities, but not because of what they do, but who they portray. The main target of the stalkers lately has been Adam Driver. A lot of Kylo fans are pretty cool, appreciating the portrayal of how a privileged child becomes a fascist solely by his own volition. But some love him out of a sense that he's secretly a good guy, or romantic. And you know what, that's not an inherently awful thing. I mean, I think it's misguided, but that doesn't mean that... whatever. But by itself, it could be a result of one of the logical paths that I described in my video about shipping. But even the reylos that aren't intentionally racist can fall into this pit, conflating Adam Driver with Kylo Ren. You know, if you like Kylo Ren, fine. But leave the man alone, please. Interrupting a play that he's in to shout out Kylo, making Black Klansmen all about your Reylo fantasies, shipping Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley, the actors in real life, and even doxing him and his family to try and find support for said ship. That last one has even been called out by some of the more aggressive Reylos. And if the people that find torture, assault, murder, and genocide forgivable are saying that you've gone too far, yeah, you've probably gone too far. A fan type not exclusive to militant shippers, but certainly common among them, is the Enforcer of the Prophecy. Enforcers have their theories about how future Star Wars will go, and that's great, we all do. But enforcers take their vision of what they believe will happen and treat those predictions as fact. Any individual with a differing opinion is seen as a heretic, and heretics must be punished. Or at least they must be mocked for not foreseeing what you have ordained to be obvious. This isn't just being excited about your speculations, this is belittling anyone that disagrees. Enforcers plague locations like Star Wars speculations and certain sections of Twitter, and you'll often see them attack anyone that thinks anything in a trailer doesn't confirm a theory that, I don't know, I'm just making this up here, but the new sand planet in Episode 9 is going to be the remains of the forest moon of Endor. Oh, wait, that's actually really good. But I kind of like that one, but you don't have to. I suppose it wouldn't be a complete list if I didn't bring up the Acolytes. Acolytes go beyond fans. They seemingly only consume Star Wars, and that's not the main problem. It becomes a problem when they let that permeate into other realms. Like I said, some people treat BlacKkKlansman as if it's a Reylo movie. Comparing all political movements to something that happened in a goofy sci-fi movie is another problem. Or maybe making an innocuous conversation about Star Wars. That's a sign that you're dealing with an acolyte. In some ways, acolytes are like the opposite of gatekeepers. They're evangelicals. They want to draw in new fans. But they're just so corny. You can absolutely be enthusiastic about the fiction you love. You know I am, but time and place. If someone asks you about Star Wars, be happy and enthusiastic to inform them. If someone says that they liked Imperial Dreams starring John Boyega, that's not an invitation to invite them into the Church of the Force. The 10th member on this list of fan types is those that talk in theaters. Yeah, episode 9's coming out pretty soon. Don't talk during it, okay? Okay.